Breaking news to report to you on this Monday afternoon. Iowa women's basketball gets big news as Aaliyah Guyton has entered the transfer portal, according to a report from national writer Talia Goodman. We'll talk about the news and what it means. Could she pull out of the portal? Just my thoughts on that. I've not spoken with Aaliyah. I did check in with her dad just moments ago. Of course, he guested on our show earlier in the year for one of our post-game streams. So again, we'll talk about the news and the impact in just 1 second. But first, a big thank you to Iowa Floor Covering on this final day of March. Be sure you visit iowafloorcovering.com and check out all they have to offer for your next DIY or non-DIY flooring project. Or if it's a bathroom remodel, see how they can help you out with plans. Visit iowafloorcovering.com or give them a call, 515-379-7000. That's Iowa Floor Covering, IFC, in Bondurant, Iowa. So the news that just came in here just minutes ago, Iowa freshman guard Aaliyah Guyton has entered the transfer portal. This is frustrating to me, and I think it's going to be frustrating to a lot of people. There is going to be a faction of fans that say, we were better off without her anyway. She was horrible last year. Of course, the reality of those statements are just not reality. Those are not true statements. She struggled latter half of the season, but let's remember, here's a true freshman that was being thrust into a difficult position, being the primary ball handler when Lucy Olson was not on the court. Now, she did play off the ball some, but she was coming off a very serious knee tear heading into her true freshman year. She was a 4-star recruit out of high school. She had a final 5 schools out of high school of Iowa, Pitt, Illinois, Nebraska, and Michigan State. 4-star recruit, very, very highly touted. Her dad was an All-American for Bobby Knight at Indiana, played in the NBA, played for the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan. Her mom was a professional Brazilian basketball player, great bloodline. She's a Peoria native, but missing that offseason, having to rehab through that first summer on campus certainly set her back. And yet she comes back during the month of November without an offseason and really gives them good production in their holiday week tournament and helped them to a couple of wins there. And she helped them into Big Ten play really into the latter half of January. She was playing some pretty good basketball, struggled in February and March. In fact, if you look at her numbers on the season, she averaged 5 points per game, 1 rebound, 1 assist. She ended up shooting 37% from 3, which is actually pretty good. She struggled with rhythm offensively, feeling comfortable getting to the rim. That's her game, to drive and kick and find open teammates. But I have to attribute some of that to being a freshman and not having an offseason. She sort of looked a little bit timid and scared at times, not real confident within herself down the stretch of the season. And I give Jan Jensen credit for sticking with her. Of course, a lot of the fans that know more than the coaches or allegedly know more than the coaches want to say, well, she should have never been playing during that stretch of time. And yet these are the same fans that praise Jan Jensen and the staff for all they did this year and accomplished on the heels of losing Caitlin Clark in that incredible senior class from last year. So I have no question in my mind that Jan Jensen and this staff, they see the potential with Aaliyah Guyton. That's why they recruited her. Yes, Jan Jensen was part of that recruitment effort when she committed to Lisa Bluter initially, and Aaliyah stuck with her commitment. Now, granted, we did talk to AJ Guyton about this. When Lisa Bluter retired, one of the things that had to be acknowledged, and AJ acknowledged it, is that you're kind of in between a rock and a hard place if you're a recruit. I'm not saying she didn't want to play for Jan Jensen, but if her motivating factor in committing to Iowa was Lisa Bluter, having a serious knee injury, it was going to be difficult to reopen your recruitment. That's just fact of the matter. So she stuck with her loyalty there. She had a difficult situation. She rehabbed, gave them good production. I mentioned the first half of the season. Between end of November and end of January, she had some pretty solid performances as it relates to points. Scored 11 points, 14 points, 15 points, had a game of 9 points, had another game of 9 points, and she was shooting the 3-ball incredibly well during this stretch. And it's amazing because, again, she was coming off a very serious injury and long rehab. She was 2 of 3 in her first real game for the Hawkeyes, 2 of 3 from 3. Then she came back 3 of 3, then 1 of 2, then 2 of 2. And then she started to struggle, and down the stretch of the season, she struggled to give Iowa much of anything. But that doesn't mean she's not a really highly regarded prospect. I do think she's going to get looks from a lot of high major programs who recognize the swing and the challenge that she faced that likely affect her production. I'm not taking responsibility or accountability away from Aaliyah Guyton. She's a true freshman who gave them what she could in a difficult position where Iowa lost a lot of ball handlers heading into this season. And this one hurts because with Lucy Olson graduating and running out of eligibility, Aaliyah Guyton, we expected her to be the starting point guard. So this is difficult. I really like Aaliyah. She's a good person based on everything I know. I can tell you that I did text her dad here just minutes before going on the air to record this stream, this video, and basically just said, hey, wish her the best. And AJ did respond to say it was great meeting you guys over from the Hawkeye of the Storm, and he appreciated our well wishes. I did ask him if there was anything I could share with Hawkeye fans. I'll be transparent with you. I asked him that, if there's anything that we can share with Hawkeye fans that will give them some sort of clarity or closure on this situation, because a lot of people were excited for Aaliyah Guyton heading into years 2 through 4. And I did not get a response, at least at the time of the recording of this video. I've not gotten a response from AJ on that. But hey, I wish her all the best. I know there was a tweet that AJ had posted during the season that some fans, it got him riled up because he said something about the portal. And then there was speculation. Okay, was he talking about his daughter? Why would he tweet out something about the portal regarding Aaliyah during the season? And then some other people said, no, he was tweeting about someone he used to coach. He coaches basketball. I think he's currently the AD over at Peoria. But regardless, she's in the portal now. Is it possible she could return? Technically, yes. Again, I've not gotten any indication that that might happen. Again, Talia Goodman was the first to report this. Kyle Huseman promptly reported it as well. So we appreciate our guys over at HawkeyeReport.com. But now the question is, can Iowa land someone else? They got a visit over the weekend from Jada Williams of Arizona, a guard who could really help them. So maybe that's an indication that Iowa knew this was coming, but they do need help in the backcourt overall. So, folks, we'll continue to give you coverage, and we'll share more if I get more on this information and Iowa's potential for landing somebody else in the portal, or maybe somehow getting Aaliyah back. I doubt it. It normally doesn't happen. And usually where there's smoke, there's fire. Those rumors were circulating during the latter half of the season. I kind of tried to put some of those to bed because I hadn't heard anything from anyone that was reliable. But now it has happened. Aaliyah Guyton has entered the portal, former 4-star and Iowa freshman guard. So, folks, stay tuned here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. Hit that like button. Be sure you're subscribed, because women's basketball coverage does not stop, even during the offseason, right here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. We will talk to you soon.